Hello, leaders. It's Kirk Giles here again from Promise Keepers Canada. And I just wanted to reach out to you again this week. I know that as men's ministry leaders, men's group leaders, pastors, this is a busy time of year for you as we head into Easter week. And there's a lot going on between COVID-19 plus Easter and everything else that happens in the season of our lives. But I just want to encourage you again today to keep remembering the needs and realities of the men who are around you. I know that a lot of churches have shifted their work, their ministry work online, which is amazing. And it's amazing to see how many more people you are reaching during these days. And I see the stories and I hear the stories and I'm encouraged and I'm excited at how the gospel is going out. But here's a question that I've heard a few times now, and it's this. How do we help older men in our churches who are not nearly as tech savvy, let's say, who are maybe even a little bit fearful about some of the technology that we are using right now for our ministry efforts? How do we connect with those guys? How do we help those guys? First of all, let me say this. It is so important that you not leave those men isolated. To a great extent, these are older men, and for many of them, they're part of the reasons why we want to be doing this social distancing thing, because we are trying to help protect the vulnerable health-wise in our society. And what we have to be careful of is that if we ignore some of those older people, some of those older men in our congregations while we're doing social distancing, we actually might help them physically, but might end up hurting them spiritually during this time. So it's so important that you keep in mind those men who are maybe older, who don't enjoy technology or don't know how to use it. So here's a couple of ideas of things that you might want to do just to serve and assist some of these older men during this time. First of all, I'll just keep kind of beating this bush. Last week I said get a list of every guy in your church and call them. This week I'll just say make sure that at the very least you're calling every one of these men who are part of your church community. Older men who might be a little bit afraid of technology, and make it a habit where maybe you have a phone call team. Form a phone call team amongst your men's ministry leaders, and every couple of weeks just be calling these guys, check in, ask them what's going on, ask them this question: how can I be praying for you this week? And then take some time on the phone and pray with them. You may want to even create a phone call small group kind of environment. I know it's not ideal. I know it's got its challenges. But there are some free conference call solutions that you can find online. You can use some of the different options, maybe even on your phone, to connect multiple people together, where you can read the Bible together, pray for each other, or maybe just tell some jokes and laugh with each other. The reality is these men need this kind of connection. They should not be living in any kind of isolation during this kind of a season. And then the other thing I'll say is this. Maybe some of them are open to technology, but they just don't know how to use it. And so what you could do is create a short video that just shows them how to use certain pieces of technology, and give them some illustrations so that they can follow along on their own computers to be able to set up the technology. Whatever you do, have a lot of respect for these men. This is a steep learning curve for them in a time of a lot of chaos around them. And a lot of their social connections have been taken away. So don't forget these men. Let's stand with them. Let's keep encouraging them in the days ahead. We have a number of things that are coming up that we believe are really going to assist you to keep walking with the men in your church during these weeks and months. And we'll be sharing more about that in some coming weeks. God bless you this week. Have a great Easter. May this be a week that is filled with hope because of what Jesus has done for us. We're praying for you and praying for great fruit in your ministry work.